Hi YouTube friends, it's Erik of E&A Day2Day, and today I will be starting a two-part mini-series, the first of which is going to go over my reasons for getting into bariatrics. The second video, which is to come after this one, is in regards to the timeline that it's taken for me to actually reach that milestone and where I'm at currently. Stay tuned for one of two. Well, friends, the reason that I'm getting to bariatrics is a little bit of a history to it. In the beginning, I didn't have any problems with my weight. I was actually fairly thin, I was athletic, and I always seemed to be having enough energy to go through day-to-day life without having any issues. Now, as I got into my later teens, I went to work at a conference center where every meal was buffet meals. So with the mentality of, eat as much as you can, just don't make yourself sick at a buffet, didn't work out too well. I ended up getting a larger stature. I ended up gaining a lot of weight on my stomach. This weight at first didn't cause many problems. However, when I went to go work in a plastic factory, things started to change. You see, I got into things like smoking. I was up to 2.5 packs a day, which is really bad. I was drinking a lot of coffee. I was drinking about 1.5 pots of coffee a day. This was at a place where I was working 12-hour shifts, working overnight, and it turned into more of a habit than a once-in-a-while thing. I was in a car accident shortly thereafter in 2005. And that actually caused me a lot of pain in my back. I had many scans done. I've been to many doctor's appointments, and they don't seem to understand why my back hurts as much as it does. My original look at my back, they said it was chronic inflammation. Anybody else that's out there that has any kind of back issues knows that when a doctor says that it's chronic and that they can't find it, they usually just chalk it up to whatever they can. It eventually got chalked down to fibromyalgia, which is kind of like that melting pot of issues that they just can't figure out where it happens. After that car accident, there was a lot more weight pulling down my back. Now, before I was on my way to getting to 6 feet. After my accident shortly after, I was down to 5'10" from 5'11". Now I'm measuring at 5'9". So being at 5'9" and 320 pounds, it's not quite a good thing on your structure to have that much weight on your body. Now, after that, I got diagnosed with diabetes, type 2. Anybody who knows or doesn't know that is usually based on your intake of food and things like exercise. Now, after my car accident, I haven't been able to bend too well. So any kind of exercise really got frustrating when you can't do very much and it doesn't seem to make a big difference. That's not to say that exercise is a bad thing. Exercise is a great thing. You need to be able to feel healthy. You need to be able to feel like you're taking care of your body. But it's not just exercise that helps your body. It's food as well. You see, when I wasn't exercising, I still wasn't eating properly. I'd have a lot of high carb intake as well as things like pop. I used to drink a lot of pop after I slowed down on my coffee, and that wasn't good either. You see, I developed heart issues, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. So this mixed with the diabetes and the issues that I was having just in general with smoking, these were all bad things. So I actually quit smoking. I was smoking from 2003 to about 2005. So by 2007, I permanently quit smoking. So I was actually not smoking anymore at all. which was great. Sure, I'd start breathing better, but after working at a plastic factory, I was still clearing out plastic from my nose and coughing it up from my lungs. Once these issues had finally come to light, and I started with my current doctor in around 2008. I've been on different kinds of diets. I've been on keto. I've been on other different things that I don't know what the names of them are for, but changing portion sizes, changing what you eat. These things didn't seem to last for me, and that was a problem because I'd always feel hungry. Now, always being hungry and not getting a lot of exercise was actually deteriorating my health. See, I got put on this medication called Atlantis, okay? And I was taking this for my diabetes. It's an injection. And I was taking it to help to use it overnight to reduce the amount of blood sugars in my body because I wasn't producing enough insulin. And I ended up with diabetic ketoacidosis in the States. So what some people don't understand is what diabetic ketoacidosis is. Well, for me, it was the fact that my blood sugar got so high that I almost ended up in a coma and I could have died. Being down in the States, that's not really a good thing to end up having. You see, when I was down there, if I didn't have health coverage, I would have ended up having about $115,000 US medical bill. Yeah, that's right, $115,000 US. I think it was something like $50 or $75 for one latex glove. That must be a really good glove. That's all I'm saying. This was scary. I've been talking to my doctor about getting on the fast-acting insulin, the QuickPen, Humalog. So now I'm on that one, and I actually count my carbs better. I have a better handle on my portion sizes. Obviously, I still have times where I don't do so well with it. However, I'm at a point where I need my stomach size to change. You see, to bring down my actual appetite, my doctors have prescribed this other medication to hopefully lower my use of insulin to a smaller amount. And while it did reduce it to about 25% of what I was using before, this drug called Ozempic started making me sick. And I was sick for a few weeks. And once I got sick, I went off of it. My wife and I, April, we don't like to have us sick. So we don't go and take that for granted. We love to have each other around. And with me not being able to do anything, it doesn't help. So moving on from there, we finally, decided to take the next steps. If you follow up to the left there, I'm going to put up the end cart where we're going to have part 1 of April's story. And then if you look up there again, there's going to be a link to the second part of her story. These things will kind of explain more in depth about bariatrics, more in depth about her journey, so that if anybody is looking and trying to see if it's right for them to make a choice for them, that they'll have some information to go ahead and look into those options. So, getting to bariatrics. Well, it wasn't one of those one-shot wonders. What we need to realize is that bariatrics, it isn't just a quick fix. What it is it's a helping hand to help lower your actual amount of area for the food going into your system and to assist you in having less of an appetite. You'll still need to do what they call eating to live, not living to eat. And that's all great and good. So that's what I'm going for. I first heard of the bariatric procedure in more detail from a relative of my wife. And I thought, okay, yeah, sure, it may work for some people, but not for others. When my wife decided to go to bariatrics, she asked me if I would come with her as her support. And guess what? I'm her support. I'm going to be there for her through thick and thin. I'm going to be there to help her in the way that she needs help. Now, my wife is absolutely gorgeous. I'll always feel that. But she needs to be comfortable for herself, and she needs to feel healthy. And to do so, with all the information that she received, she decided to go for this change. Now, when she went to go for that actual orientation session, and I went in there, I have to admit, I wasn't very, receptive to it being as great as I now think it is. But when I went in there and I was listening to the information provided by the social worker and by the dietitian, it actually made sense to me. And that is where I decided to go ahead and get bariatrics. So thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please click on like and smash that subscribe button to follow us on our upcoming journey. Thanks for joining us. Bye.